I have great news. The Airburst Rocket Launcher is now available for everybody. Hello and welcome to the channel. This weapon is bugged. Do not worry, this weapon is bugged. Arrowhead have acknowledged this and they are going to fix it. This is just the experimental version that we've got at the moment. Anyway, my teammate R3 doesn't take very kindly to me using this weapon and literally one-shots me in the head with the butt of his sickle. Oh dear. All right, guys, so this is a situation. Well, let me just show you this first. I thought, oh, this is awesome. It's blowing up factories. It wasn't, though. That was actually an Eagle airstrike that landed. But it made me feel really cool, and it looked absolutely awesome. So, what are the fixes coming in for this weapon? This is what Spitz says over on Discord, and a little bit of a teaser for later on in the video. We've got some information on the spear being fixed, and I think we really should discuss what actually an airburst weapon is, and we should probably take a look at, well, Arrowhead ripping the piss out of Tarkov because it's absolutely genius. All right, let's do this. Spitz says that's a complicated question to answer. The major build update next week is going to push out the intended final version of the Airburst launcher and mines, or rather push out a bunch of fixes for some issues with both of them. So there's a lot of info there. It's one sentence, but it straight up confirms we are getting both of the stratagems. So it doesn't really matter that maybe we don't liberate Chewie, but I think we will by next week. Or the fact that we've liberated Penta first. So it did kind of look like we would only get access to one of the stratagems, but it looks like they're just going to give us both of them anyway. So who really cares? I think what they were getting at is we'd get early access to whatever stratagem we decided to, or whatever planet we decided to liberate first with that stratagem on, which turned out to be the Airburst Rocket Launcher. Now, the other info there is we're getting a major build update next week. Again, I would assume this is going to be either on Tuesday or Thursday. Probably Tuesday, because that's generally when they update. Remember, they missed an update last week. So, yeah, we're expecting a pretty big update this week. So that's really cool news. Spitz goes on to say, so the version you're using right now doesn't have those fixes attached. It wasn't guaranteed whether the community would get access to the two stratagems before the next patch. So the current version in the game is in a playable state, but likely to perform differently after we move into the next patch. I'm also not sure if the fixes for these stratagems are in the initial build release or the first hotfix, but both are scheduled for next week. So, again, a bit more info there. We're going to get a big update, and then we're going to get a hotfix at some point. So probably Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to get the big update on a Tuesday, and then a hotfix coming out on the Thursday. That's what I would guess too. So yeah, this is the question, isn't it? What are they going to do to this weapon? So this essentially is a massive area denial weapon against enemies with no armor. Effectively. So it needs to be able to detonate by them. And I think what's happening is it's detonating by other Helldivers. As you've seen at the top of this video, I think it's just proximity to Helldivers, so it triggers the fuse and it explodes. It'll detonate based on if it's close to certain bits of terrain. You'll notice bits of rock sticking out. You try and fire the rocket over them, it'll detonate on top of them, and it feels like it's detonating in your face. Yeah, they're probably going to fix those issues. But, I mean, yeah, besides that, that's what this weapon kind of is. And I suppose this leads us into what actually is an airburst weapon. Now, it's a rocket launcher, so obviously you can forgive everyone, and myself included here. I'll forgive myself. It's like that Obama meme, putting the medal on yourself. Well done, Sty. I forgive you, Sty. Thanks, Sty. Anyway, I'm losing my mind talking about myself in the third person. What the actual hell? But an airburst weapon is designed not to take out fortifications, not to take out heavy armor, but to take out the squishy in the fortifications. So if you've got infantry in trenches, you airburst shells above them, shrapnel goes down and kills the squishy targets. That's what it's about. So really, this weapon shouldn't be blowing up tanks, shouldn't be blowing factories up, it shouldn't be doing any of that. It should just be able to kill the chaff. Now, here's the other thing as well. We've only really been exclusively using this against the bots. Now, the bots, well, they like heavy armor. The bots also don't really hoard together. They generally stand at range. Yeah, I know you get rushed down by berserkers and stuff like that, but of course you don't want to fire this weapon near to you. But yeah, they don't generally hoard, right? So they're at range firing at you. Yeah, they've got heavy units. They've got big, heavy flying units. You know how this is, right, with the bots. But because this is now available against the Terminids as well, because you can straight up buy this as a stratagem right now in the game, because we've unlocked it, you can go and use this against Terminids. And Terminids hoarding, I think this will be really strong. Again, it's still bugged right now. So it's going to detonate if you fire it next to an ally. It's going to detonate if you try and fire it over a bit of terrain. and that's going to be bad. But hopefully that gets fixed next week. And I think this actually will have a bit of a place in the game at taking out massive hordes of enemies really fast. Again, I think the debate will come down to, is it going to be as good as just using Eagle Airstrike or, you know, any number of other stratagems? I don't know. But one thing I will say is it's super cool that they're still adding stuff like this to the game. And it is a unique weapon, and it does, you know, it's got a niche that it fits. So, yeah, keep adding weapons, keep doing it. I love it. And I think it's been kind of funny that we've been using an experimental version, and it's kind of a bit janky, and it's going to get fixed. Really clever way of of controlling, I suppose, like the narrative around having an actual broken weapon in the game, but just making out like, no, it's experimental. I love it. It's so good. I love this game. Okay, next up on the broken weapon block is Spitz back on Discord talking about the spear. Now, if you've used the spear, you'll know it's got a very funky lock-on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There are ways around it, but it is a very effective weapon at destroying heavily armored targets. Things like Bile Titans, tanks, anything like that is so powerful at taking them out. Spitz says this. Okay, the spear lock-on was indeed fixed 17 days ago, so it's probably just waiting for a patch to go live. So yeah, that was fixed a long time ago, over 2 weeks ago, and it's waiting to be added into a patch. Now, you might be thinking, why are they not just adding these to the game as soon as they fix them? The problem is you have to get certification for PlayStation. So when they're, I mean, they can update the game, I guess, on PC whenever they like, but for PlayStation, it takes a bit longer, so they need to make sure they're getting enough into those patches to make it worthwhile actually going through that process. Now, as we remember, or as we know, I suppose, PlayStation is the publisher for the game, so there may be some sort of a fast-track system they've got. Maybe it's not as expensive, because I think it does cost quite a bit of money every time you update the game with the required accreditation on Xbox and PlayStation. Of course, Helldivers is only available on PlayStation, so yeah, and like I said, they're the publisher, so maybe they've got a fast track or it's a bit cheaper, I don't know. But yeah, this is good news. The fix is coming for the spear. Great news, everybody. Penta has been liberated, so now everybody's got access to the Airburst Rocket Launchers if you want to go and unlock the stratagem. Yeah, it's still broken, though, and I don't expect this to get fixed until maybe Monday or Tuesday. And if you're watching this video today, that will be tomorrow or the day after. But this is what they say. 90% of Penta's chemical... Also, the title is kind of broke there. The HTML tag. Penta liberated. 90% of Penta's chemical factories have been secured. Fleet-wide distribution of Airburst rocket launchers can now commence. Most of the technicians who had been trapped on the planet were rescued. Tragically, though, some had already perished by the time we reached them, having succumbed to toxic fume poisoning. The automatons show no hesitation in the use of chemical warfare against civilians. The sacrifice of these heroes will never be forgotten. And of course, yeah, we've never seen the automatons use chemical weapons. It's clearly our own chemicals that are killing our people. Oh dear. Anyway, Penta is now liberated. So if you go over and take a look, we can now move to Chalk Bay. But of course, Chewie is the other planet with the anti-tank mines on. And Menkent basically needs to be liberated to open up the path to that, or Chalk Bay. And probably the way this is going, Chalk Bay will probably get liberated before Menkent, maybe, because people seem to be going there. Well, there's 11,000 at the moment, and there's only 3,700 there. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, what is interesting is they did kind of frame this major order as we either liberate Penta and get the rocket launcher, or liberate Chewie and get the anti-tank mines, and that's it. But it looks like we're just going to get both of them, to be honest. We've got 1 day and 1 hour left on this major order. So, I don't know, maybe we won't actually liberate Chalk Bay and then liberate Chewie, or get Menkent and then Chewie in that time frame. But I think we'll probably get to play on Chewie, so we probably will get to play with the anti-tank mines, because they'll be available, I think, as an experimental stratagem. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see on that front. Now, I don't know if you guys have been following the Tarkov news recently, but holy hell, you should go and check this out. This is actually insane levels of trying to rinse your player base for money. Anyway, Helldivers are straight up taking the piss out of them. Look at this. So this tweet pops up and it says, be sure to check out the deals in the acquisition center today. With prices so low, they're practically unheard of. True believers can grab the CM21 Trench Paramedic for only 250 super credits, featuring increased pocket size and extra stims. Right? Not available for free to super citizens. Now, what does this mean? What is all of this about? Firstly, I'm wearing this armor in this video clip because it looks sick, and I really like heavy armor anyway. So it's got the heavy armor perk for stability when you crouch and reduce damage on explosions. And it just looks really cool. It's like brushed aluminium. It looks really cool. Or, sorry, aluminum. It's brushed steel. I don't know what that is anyway. But, yeah, what is going on here? So the Tarkov thing, I guess the TLDR of this is and why Helldivers are taking the piss here, is Tarkov are trying to charge $250 for a PvE mode, which was apparently in an earlier version. You could even say the pre-order version. So let's say the version that Super Citizens would have, or the Super Citizen pack, let's say, not so much the pre-order of Helldivers 2, should just be getting access to it. But Tarkov have decided, no. You may have bought whatever pack we were selling you, but now we want another $250 on you. It's a very poor explanation I'll give you there. It's a massively complex situation, and the devs are actually, like, they're just annihilating their game. They're doubling down on it, and it's just, honestly, it's insane. So I guess if I can try and do that again, basically what it is there are pay-to-win elements that are in the co-op PvE mode or PvE exclusive mode. However, they did say that the PvE would be available to people who had bought a previous edition of the game, but then they've decided to go, no, we want more money now, and if you've got the previous version, you need to give us like an extra $100 to get this one now, and it's crazy. They have a history as well of saying that DLC, I think, would be added for free. However, they are saying this isn't DLC, but clearly it is because it's downloadable content for the game. Honestly, I'm not here to talk about Tarkov, but go and check it out, guys. Google Tarkov situation. It is actually insane. You will not believe what the hell that dev is doing. They are literally annihilating their game through, well, straight up predatory monetization practices, which unfortunately is something which takes down a lot of games in this day and age. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that. So it is now time to try and push on and complete the major order and get the anti-tank mines unlocked. But if you are going to use the Airburst Rocket Launcher, please don't use it near me because it will explode and we will all die, and we don't want that. But besides that, yeah, I'm out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.